Samsung sold over 220 million smartphones last year. Not because they make the best phones at every price point, because they are the single most effective marketing operation in consumer electronics, and most buyers never stop to separate what Samsung tells them they are buying from what is actually in the box. The premium Android market has a Samsung problem. Not because Samsung makes bad hardware. The S25 is a genuinely good phone. The problem is what happens between that baseline product and the $1,299 version sitting next to it on the shelf. The gap between them is not $500 worth of technology. It is $500 worth of positioning, and the industry has been quietly laughing about it for years. Today, we are splitting 6 Samsung upsells down the middle and showing you exactly where your money stops buying hardware and starts buying branding. Then we are showing you 3 phones that deliver more of what actually matters for less money than Samsung charges you to feel like you made the right choice, starting with the ones taking your money. Number 6. Galaxy Z Flip 6. The Z Flip 6 retails at $1,099. For that price, you get a phone that folds in half. That is the entire value proposition, not a better camera system. The Z Flip 6 shoots with a 50-megapixel main sensor that trails the standard S25 in low-light performance. Not a better battery. The Flip's 3,700 mAh cell is smaller than what Samsung puts in the $799 S25. Not a better processor. Both run the same Snapdragon 8 Elite. What you are getting is a hinge, a crease across the center of your display you will notice every single day, and a form factor that is objectively worse at every functional task a smartphone performs. The Z Flip 6 costs $300 more than the S25 for a phone that does less. The crease is not a minor aesthetic issue, it bisects the screen. Samsung's own engineering acknowledges this by calling it a minimized crease, which is their way of confirming it exists. You are paying a $300 premium to carry a phone that is harder to type on, harder to shoot video with, and shorter on battery life than the phone Samsung sells for less. The only thing the Flip 6 does better than the S25 is sit on a table without a stand. Number 5. Galaxy S25 Plus. The S25 Plus retails at $999. The S25 retails at $799. The difference between them is a 0.5-inch increase in screen diagonal, a marginally larger battery, and $200. Same Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, same triple camera system, same Galaxy AI software stack, same 6 years of OS updates. Samsung has engineered the S25 Plus to justify its own existence by sitting between 2 more defensible products, and it succeeds as a price anchor rather than as a compelling device. The S25 is not undersized. It is a 6.2-inch phone. The S25 Plus is 6.7 inches. If your primary complaint about the S25 is screen size, the S25 Plus is your phone. But for the majority of buyers who land on the S25 Plus, because the spec sheet looks fuller than the S25 and less expensive than the Ultra, this is a $200 decision made by marketing, not by genuine need. At $999, you are in the territory where the OnePlus 13 and the Pixel 9 Pro are competing directly. The S25 Plus beats neither of them. Number 4. The Samsung Galaxy S25 starts at 128 gigabytes. Moving to 256 gigabytes costs you $60 at retail. Moving to 512 gigabytes costs an additional $60 after that. NAND flash storage costs Samsung approximately $6 to $8 per 128 GB increment at current wholesale rates. The markup on that single checkbox you click during checkout is somewhere between 700% and 900% above Samsung's actual cost. This is not speculation. This is basic supply chain math that the component industry publishes quarterly. The specific cruelty of this particular upsell is that the base 128 GB configuration is genuinely insufficient for a phone Samsung is marketing as a long-term AI-capable flagship. They know it. You find out 6 months after purchase when your camera roll has consumed 2/3 of your available storage. The correct answer is buying the 256 GB configuration, which is exactly where Samsung prices the margin. OnePlus ships 256 GB as the base configuration on the OnePlus 13 at $899 without the conversation. Number 3. Samsung Care plus Samsung Care. Plus runs $9 to $13 per month depending on the tier you select, which translates to $216 to $312 over a standard 2-year ownership cycle. A cracked screen repair on the S25 Ultra under Care Plus still carries a $99 deductible. Accidental damage beyond the screen is $249. Samsung's authorized repair network has limited locations outside major metro areas, which means shipping your device, waiting, and receiving it back on Samsung's timeline. Google's preferred care runs $7 to $9 per month, with comparable deductibles and same-day repairs available through authorized partners in most markets. Apple Care Plus on an iPhone 16 Pro covers unlimited screen repairs at $29 per incident. The Samsung Care Plus math does not survive comparison to what the same money buys you from competitors. It exists because Samsung knows the majority of buyers add it at checkout without running the numbers. Number 2. Galaxy AI as a price justifier. Samsung has built its entire S25 launch narrative around Galaxy AI, Circle to Search, Live Translate, Photo Assist, AI-powered summarization in Notes. These features are real. They work. They are also the primary marketing argument for why the S25 Ultra at $1,299 represents a different category of purchase than the S25 at $799. Here is what the marketing does not tell you. Galaxy AI runs on Google's Gemini models under a licensing agreement. Every Galaxy AI feature that touches large language model capability is Google's infrastructure, wearing a Samsung interface. The Google Pixel 9 at $799 runs the same Gemini models natively on Google's own Tensor G4 chip inside Google's own ecosystem, without the licensing layer. You can pay Samsung $500 more than a Pixel 9 costs to access AI features Samsung licenses from the company selling those features more cheaply on their own hardware. Or you cannot. If this is saving you money, subscribe. We cover phones the way they actually work. No sponsored reviews, no brand partnerships, just honest analysis of what your money is actually buying. Number 1. Galaxy S25 Ultra. The S25 Ultra retails at $1,299. The S25 Plus retails at $999. The $300 difference between them buys you 3 things: a larger 6.9-inch display, a 200-megapixel main sensor, with a 100 times space zoom periscope system and an integrated S Pen stylus. The zoom camera is real and it is impressive in controlled conditions. The 200 megapixel sensor produces excellent output when the lighting cooperates. These are legitimate hardware differentiators and nobody is arguing otherwise. The S Pen is the problem. Samsung does not publish first-party usage data, but third-party research firms studying stylus engagement on Galaxy Note and S Ultra devices consistently report that active S Pen usage drops to single-digit percentages of the user base within 90 days of purchase. The stylus gets used at unboxing, occasionally at a meeting, and then lives in the device permanently as a slot that reduces battery capacity and adds engineering complexity. You are paying $300 over the S25 Plus for a feature the statistics say you will not use. Wrapped around a zoom camera most buyers access fewer than 10 times per year. The S25 Ultra is a genuinely excellent device for the specific buyer who needs 100 times zoom and uses a stylus professionally. For everyone else, it is a $300 premium purchased on the assumption of a use case that never materializes. Number 3. Nothing. Phone 3a, the Nothing Phone 3a retails at approximately $379. For that price, you get a mid-range Snapdragon processor, a clean near-stock Android experience, Nothing's Glyph interface system, and a software commitment that Nothing has maintained with notable consistency for a brand its size. This phone exists on this list for one reason. Every buyer currently considering the $799 Galaxy S25 because they want a flagship Android experience should spend 1 hour with a Nothing Phone 3a before completing that purchase. The camera system does not match the S25. The processor does not match the S25. What it does match is the day-to-day functional experience of a flagship for $420 less. And that gap is where most of the premium Android market is overcharging most of its buyers. Nothing charges you for the phone. Number 2. OnePlus 13. The OnePlus 13 retails at $899. It runs the same Snapdragon 8 Elite chip Samsung put in the S25 series. It ships with 256 gigabytes of storage as the base configuration. It charges at 100 watts wired, reaching a full charge in approximately 36 minutes. Samsung's S25 Ultra charges at 45 watts. The Hasselblad camera partnership produces a color science that professional photographers consistently prefer in direct comparison to Samsung's more aggressively processed output. The display is a 6.8 2-inch 120 Hz Pro XDR panel that matches or exceeds the S25 Plus in every reviewable specification. OnePlus does not spend Samsung's marketing budget. The 13 does not have a flagship retail presence. It does not run commercials during the Super Bowl. What it has is a Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, triple-digit charging speed, and a camera system that outperforms what Samsung charges $400 more to deliver. The $899 goes into the hardware, not the shelf space. Number 1. Google Pixel 9 Pro. The Pixel 9 Pro retails at $999. That is the same price as the Galaxy S25 Plus, and it is not a comparison Samsung wants you to make. The Pixel 9 Pro runs Google's Tensor G4 chip with the Titan M2 security coprocessor and on-device AI processing that is not a licensed feature. It is the architecture the phone is built around. 7 years of guaranteed OS and security updates, the longest software commitment in Android. The camera system, rated by multiple independent labs as the strongest all-conditions camera package in Android for 2024, going into 2025, uses computational photography that Google has been building for a decade on their own infrastructure. Google builds the operating system. Google builds the AI stack. Google builds the chip. The Pixel 9 Pro is the only Android phone where every layer of the software and silicon comes from the same organization, and that vertical alignment shows directly in how the device performs. At $999, you are buying the same price as the S25 Plus for a phone with a stronger camera, a longer software commitment, better native AI integration, and no licensing dependency on the company whose phone you declined to purchase. The Pixel 9 Pro charges you for the phone. Across all 6 Samsung Upsells, the pattern is identical to every premium category that has ever existed. The Z Flip charges you for a shape. The S25 Plus charges you for a number on a spec sheet. The Storage Upsell charges you for a checkbox. Samsung Care Plus charges you for math you did not run. Galaxy AI charges you for software Samsung does not own. The S25 Ultra charges you for a stylus you will not use. The 3 phones worth your money put the budget where the spec sheet cannot lie about it. The processor, the charging architecture, the camera sensor, the software commitment, and the years of updates that determine what your $800 purchase is worth in year 3. In the smartphone market, ignorance is the most expensive subscription you will ever pay. Stop buying the band, buy the hardware.